Yep.
All right. Yep. So yeah, it's technically week one, but
Well,
it's over
week
the
zero
span.
and week zero for all the true fans out there that want to get technical about everything.
It's over the span of 2 separate weeks. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but it's technically week one. So
All right. So we start off the two games that I know for sure that we have this coming weekend is Navy and Notre Dame, and then USC and San Jose State. Um,
well,
San Jose,
I'm really interested. This is our first look at Notre Dame, and I'm really interested to see how Sam Hartman is going to be working with this offense.
yeah, because Notre Dame, you lose both of your starting quarterback and your offensive coordinator to
Yeah.
Alabama. So if the offensive side of the ball is going to be a little tricky, I do believe they're returning a lot on defense this year, to where even though Navy runs the triple option, I really don't see them having any threats for Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see if they're kind of shaky at all. See if they're I mean, because it's the first game of the year. There's probably going to be some nerves that they're going to have to shake off. So I'm
I
interested
say
to see if Navy can keep it close at all. But I think Notre Dame, I think it's going to be one of those games where if it is close first half, Notre Dame kind of figures out
I
a way
say
to
it's not going to be a drastic blowout. So I'm going to go ahead
yeah.
and come up with a score prediction here. I say Notre Dame wins this game 38-14.
Yeah, I think it'll be something like that, like a 34-13, something like that. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be an absolute smackdown, but I definitely think it might be kind of a close game first half, but I think they definitely pull away second half.
The next game, USC San Jose State. I mean, would I love to see San Jose State kind of ruin Caleb Williams' Heisman chances right off the bat? Absolutely, just because the dude is a terrible like role model, and arrogant as all get out. Same thing
Yeah.
with Lincoln Riley. Um, but I mean, this is going to be one of those games where I think you're going to see second string probably by the end of the second quarter, start of the third quarter. I mean, it's probably going to be 49-7, 49-0 by halftime.
Yeah, probably. Or at least that might be a final score, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll hold out hope for their losses a little bit later in the season. They're definitely not going to be undefeated, that's for sure.
All right, so you're going to have to read off to me the next couple of matchups here because I can barely see them. So,
Okay, sorry about that. Well, the one that really sticks out for next Thursday, Florida at Utah. Last year, Florida pulled off the win and kind of ruined Utah's chances at making something happen as far as a playoff run goes. But
I'm
I don't think they beat Utah this year. I think
not so fast, not so fast on that one.
I don't think they do.
I mean, people are writing Florida off and they're thinking Florida's going to finish as one of the bottom teams in the SEC East this year. I'm one of those people that I think Florida is one of those teams that is very, very, very much a sleeper team this year. You look at you look at Billy Napier and his recruiting and what he's done already in just the first couple of years he's been there. I mean, he just rattled off like a top 10 recruiting class this past year, um, and everything there. So it's one of those things that I'm looking at Florida, especially with Graham Mertz being a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
He has the experience starting. You got a great duo in the backfield between ETN and then the other guy in Florida. So they got a great running game. So I'm not quick to count out Florida just yet. Not to mention their defensive line this year is going to be brutal. They got the big man number 21 who was like 400 some pounds last
Yes.
year. He's dwindled his weight down a little bit. I see Florida. I think the Utah Florida game is really going to determine two things. One, is USC really the only team this year in the Pac-12 that's a legit playoff contender?
No,
Or
the Pac-12 is going to be really
or
competitive.
two, is Florida going to be able to maybe challenge Georgia, who is down this year, and also challenge Tennessee for possibly the East?
Well, you know that
So,
game last year, Florida hung in there and they made it a game for a little bit, but
in Anthony Richardson, it's just one of those things you could have only asked so much of him in that game,
yeah,
and I mean he kept Florida in the Georgia game as long as he could. It's just eventually against that defense, there's no way he could have continued.
yeah.
Um, I say this one's going to be close. I say this one is going to be settled by 7 points or less.
Okay, I like that. I'm not sure what the over under is. Is it? I don't know. I can click on it real quick. See what the over under is. Maybe the odds aren't out yet.
The odds probably won't come out until the week of.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we'll skip that for now then. Um, the next one, get our first look at Nebraska under what's his name? Shoot.
Oh, you had to ask me. He was the coach of the Panthers.
Yeah,
Um, and he coached over at Baylor.
Bad Baylor, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of
Man,
his name.
I can't think of it either. Our friend Wyatt would know for sure. Um,
Yeah. Good grief.
what is his name? Dadgummit.
Good grief. I feel stupid.
Um,
Matt Rule.
Matt
Sorry.
Rule.
Yeah.
Matt Rule. There it
I'm
is.
sorry.
It finally
I
hit
went
me.
blank.
Um, I, and who are they playing first game of the year?
They're at Minnesota.
Ooh, at Minnesota, a road game for the first game to start under Matt Rule.
Yep.
Do we know who their quarterback's going to be in Nebraska?
Is Casey Thompson still there?
I don't know
Or
if
because Adrian Martinez got hurt last year. I don't know if he's going to be.
Adrian Martinez was at K State last year.
I thought he transferred to Nebraska.
No, he was
Oh
at
yeah, he's
Nebraska.
at K State. Yeah, you're right. He transferred from Nebraska. I'm sorry. I'm all out of sync right now. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Ew, Phil
I
Longo,
will go ahead.
gross.
I'm going to go ahead and say Nebraska wins it, but I'm going to say it's going to be 21-17, 24-21, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's going to be a very close defensive game, but you are going to have enough offense to put some points up on the board.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure who their
I
starter's going to
think
be.
for you Nebraska fans, I think this year is where y'all actually flip the script as far as losing one possession games, and you actually start winning some of those one possession games.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Minnesota at home.
Okay. Golden Gophers.
The Golden Gophers. So, yeah, it'll be a close one because I'm not sure how good Minnesota's going to be, but I'm going to take Minnesota in that one. All right, let's go down to Friday. Not a lot going on. Louisville at Georgia Tech.
That that's such a hard one because you no longer have Malik Cunningham at Louisville.
Mm-mm.
Um, but now you do have what's his name at Georgia Tech, quarterback
Not Jeff Sims, is it?
Jeff Sims.
Yeah.
Yes, and Jeff Sims. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Jeff Sims is a legit athlete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good.
Um, I'm gonna go Georgia Tech by a field goal in this game.
Georgia Tech's, they're just kind of one of those weird teams that they
They
can't
lose
decide
that
whether they want
they
to win
win
or
the
not.
games they win the games they're supposed to lose and lose the games they're supposed to win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I might go Louisville though, just because um I think they're still supposed
I
to be
think
pretty
Louisville is going to
decent.
be favored in this one by 7.5 or so.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Louisville. Stanford at Hawaii. Eh.
Stanford,
Yeah. All right.
last ditch effort to make a case to join a Power Five conference.
Jeez. All right. So let's go down, skip down to Saturday, next Saturday. There's a lot of games. We're not gonna go through all of those just because there's no need to. Like Maine, Florida International. Nah, don't need to go through all that.
There are
But
a couple of games that are unranked that I do want to maybe touch on though.
yeah.
Um, but starting with the ranked matchups, I see there at the top of the list we got Tennessee at UVA, which is going to be here in Nashville.
Yep.
Um,
UVA's just not going to be that good this year, I don't think.
I'm going to be
So,
honest with you. This with Josh Heupel's high octane offense, and with the things that I've been hearing from reports and stuff out of Knoxville about the Tennessee defense, it's one of those things that if Joe Milton plays to the caliber of Hendon Hooker did last year, this might be Tennessee's best chance to make the college football playoffs.
And I'm honestly surprised they're ranked as low as 12th. They should be
They
inside
should
the
have been
top 10.
higher. They should have been
Yeah.
higher, but I think what really did them in was the South Carolina loss last year is why they're so far back this year.
Yeah. That one that killed them, man. They were tracking towards a playoff spot, and then that killed them. But above that, we actually have ECU at Michigan. Can we get a repeat from what 2007? Let's have another App State upset in the Big House.
I
Can the
will say
Pirates
this:
do it?
Jim Harbaugh is suspended for this game. So if any out of the 3 games he's suspended for, I feel like this would be the best one for an upset bid, just because ECU has always held in there fiercely against some top 25 opponents before. They're now have they won recently against a big time program? No. So I feel like this would be a great opportunity for ECU to kind of resurrect itself back into that caliber of a opponent and everything in the American, and kind of show them, hey, we're a team to be reckon with and we're a team to play against. So this is going to be a fun game to watch. I don't think ECU gets it done. I think Michigan
No.
does pull away late, but just the fact that Harbaugh is out for this one, it gives me the best upset scenario for a non top 25 team to upset Michigan.
I don't think his absence is going to be that big of an issue for Michigan. ECU, I'm not sure how the quarterback situation is, but I'm going to take Michigan in that game 41-10. I think
I
they'll
mean,
win solidly.
Michigan's probably going to come out favored by 31 or 38, somewhere
Yeah.
in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Um, Colorado at TCU.
Man, I'm doing it. This is going to be an upset heard around the world just because TCU has lost a lot on their defense, lost a lot on their offense. I feel like the way Dion has done this, especially with Schroeder Sanders going to be starting at quarterback. Um, I feel like because Schroeder has already played with his dad over at Jackson State and came over, he already knows his dad's offense. He already knows how to kind of run that system. And I feel like Colorado has it's going to be a high scoring game for sure, just because both defenses, I mean, they're Big 12. So, Pac 12, Big 12 this year, but Big 12 next year, um, are going to be giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns I think with both of those teams, so that's gonna be tough. As much as I'd like to see TCU win, I don't know. Not sure what's gonna go on there. I, yeah, I might have to go with you on that one and go Colorado. Ohio State at Indiana on 3:30 that Saturday.
Indiana, this is their best shot to make a statement as far as an upset at home to start the year, gain some momentum, because right now Ohio State doesn't know who their quarterback's going to be. And I think with that lingering this far into the year, and Indiana has been a thorn in Ohio State's flesh for a couple of years now out of the last 5 or 6. So, I mean, it's one of those situations that I believe if Indiana were to pull the upset, this might be the year to do it just because it's early in the year and you're still testing out the waters a lot on defense and offense. And so I feel like this would be their best shot to beat Ohio State.
I think Ohio State wins without any issues.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that Indiana's going to win. I'm just saying this is their best shot that they have
Yeah.
early in the year.
Boise State at Washington's kind of interesting.
This
Michael
game
Penix Jr. is my Heisman pick, so
this is going to be a fun game to watch. I'm actually looking forward to this one a lot.
yeah.
It's a lower tier game on Saturday. I say this is going to be an offensive juggernaut game. Because one, Michael Penix, he can air it out all over the field. And
Yep.
two, Boise State, they got I forget who their quarterback is going to be playing this year, but this is going to be one of those that a lot of people are predicting Boise to make a New Year's Six bowl. and they would have to win this game in order for that to happen.
Really. I'm high on Washington though. I think Michael Penix is going to have a great season. I think they win. I think they win a lot this year. Um, Not a lot sticks out as far as like top tier matchups, but I like West Virginia at Penn State. I think that can be a good game.
West Virginia, I feel like could pull the upset off in that one. Because and the reason I say that is West Virginia is always one of these teams that you never really know with them. Even in basketball, they were one of those teams that you never really could count them out, even though they had a losing record. Um, and I feel like that's the same going with football. As I say, with it being the first game of the year, being in Happy Valley, it's going to be really, really interesting to see who can gain control of that momentum. And plus, um, Penn State's going to have a new quarterback this year.
Mhm. Yep.
And so that's going to play a big role in this outcome of this game.
I'm going to take Penn State in that game. And it might be a bit of a lower scoring game too. I might like 24-14 maybe.
It's definitely going to be a defensive game. It's not going to be an offensive throw it around all over the field type game.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Penn State in that one, 24-14. Game day is going to be in Charlotte for the Fart Heels at the South Carolina Gamecocks. That's another really tough one starting
Man,
off week one.
this game between South Carolina and North Carolina, border rivals. I love it being the first game of the year.
Yeah.
You don't get to see that very often.
It's not the
Uh,
Mayo Bowl.
and
It's
so
week
yeah,
one.
it's one of those situations to where honestly, for rivalry sakes, I would love for this game to be at the end of the season, rather than the beginning. But I like it because both Spencer Rattler and Drake May have potential to win the Heisman. Um, and it's one of those deals to where I feel like it can go either way. I'm going to give a
Well,
little bit of an edge. I'm going to give a little bit of an edge to South Carolina just because they do play in the SEC and better quality opponents.
yeah. Well, I
And
do want to bring up one point though. Spencer Radler at the end of the 2020 season with Oklahoma, they looked like they were on a hot streak and they were going somewhere. And then they turned around the next season and didn't. They were not very great. I mean, they almost lost to Tulane, who only had 3 wins that year in 21.
yeah,
And then he got booed by his home crowd and was benched for Caleb Williams. And then he transfers to South Carolina, and much like that 2020 season at Oklahoma, coming to the end of this last season, South Carolina got hot and they were looking really good. So is it another one of those things where they come out this season not looking that great?
I don't think it is because I think a lot of that has to be given credit to Shane Beamer. I mean, he's a great coach, great defensive coach. He gets a lot of that from his dad, Frank, who made Virginia Tech into a juggernaut. Um, and everything with Michael Vick, Tyrod Taylor, all those guys. So I feel like if Shane were to have a good team this year, it's going to rely mainly on him as a head coach to get his coordinators and stuff on the same page.
All right, cool. All right. We're we're recording. I might have to go back and edit this out. Hey, you want to come say hi? Come say hi, Jay. No, no, come here, man. Come here. Come here. I got no. Well, I wish. No, this is my friend Weston. Come here. Come say hi. Say hi, Jason. Weston.
Weston, what?
Yeah, Weston.
Weston?
Yeah.
What's
Hey, Wes.
up?
How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm going good. Another 45 minutes, I'll be on air.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. All right, have
All
fun.
right. Thanks, man.
Want me to leave this open?
No, no, you're good.
You know how to get back in.
Yeah, I'll be good.
All right.
Yep. Thanks.
Come down before you leave.
All right, sounds good. I might try to sneak on there here in a little bit. All right. So another one I wanted to mention here, ODU and Virginia Tech.
This has been a fun game for the past 3 years. Like it
ODU
goes
just won
back
in
and
this last
forth, back
season.
and forth.
Yeah,
Grant Wells is returning as Virginia Tech starter. Um,
Grant Wells for Heisman. I
and
wanted that, but
it's one of those things to where honestly, I think ODU has a little bit more talent this year than Virginia Tech. Um, and I think ODU gets this one done.
yeah, Virginia Tech are not valued very much. Honestly, I will say I think Grant Wells was a better quarterback at Marshall. They just did
Bring
more.
back the Big East.
Yeah. And then before we move down to Sunday, we have Northern Arizona at Arizona. I think Northern Arizona beat them last year. Is that right?
They did,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen this year because I think Arizona is finally going to be bowl eligible. I think they go 6-6 this year.
I'm gonna go with you on that one because the
Yep.
quarterback they ended up inserting halfway through the year last year ended up coming on and doing really well. And I think now that he has a little bit, I can't remember his name, but I think now that he has some experience under his belt,
Um, Jaden DeLara, right?
yeah, Delara, that's it.
He
Um,
transferred from I think San Jose.
yeah, because San Jose State was really good when he was their quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's one of those deals where he really provides the spark Arizona's been missing.
Yep. I think they finally get bowl eligible.
What was the last year Arizona was bowl eligible? Was it the year that Gronkowski was their tight end?
I'm gonna look this up right now because I have no idea.
Like I can't remember either. If it's the fact that it was in the last time that they were bowl eligible was when Gronkowski was their tight end, that's terrible. Well, no, it would have been in the late 2000 like 09, 010, somewhere in there because like in the college football games they were ranked in the top 25 at that point.
I'm gonna look here. This is according to Wikipedia, so I don't know how trustworthy that is. But well, hold on. I'm seeing they were in a bowl game in 2017.
Against two.
I don't remember that. The San Francisco Bowl? I don't know if that's right.
Who did they play against?
Hold on. I'm gonna go to something other than Wikipedia.
Sounds good with me because yeah, Wikipedia is not trustworthy.
And while I'm looking that up, what about Coastal Carolina at UCLA?
Man, that's gonna be oh man. I just feel like that Coastal is gonna get that one done just because they still have the same coach and everything. Um, it's gonna be a close one. I don't think UCLA pulls away with it. I think it's gonna be very close to the end.
And I believe Grayson McCall is back for another year at Coastal. So,
Yeah, I think this is his last year eligibility due to the COVID year.
yep. And let's go ahead and skip on down to Sunday because we have a big game. But let's start off with Northwestern at Rutgers.
Northwestern gets the first win in a new era after all of the hazing incidents, all of the everything. Like, let's just say now instead of going after boys and stuff for parties, they're going to start going after the girls after they beat the Rutgers. Get all them Jersey girls involved in a scandal now.
Oh no. I'm gonna go Rutgers. I'm gonna take Rutgers in that one. Oregon State at San Jose State. We're gonna have the
Oregon State.
debut.
Oregon State all the way. DJ Ugalele is
Yep.
going to torch their defense.
The debut of DJ Uiagalelei at Oregon State. I feel good about Oregon State getting the win there. And then I can't wait for this one. LSU at Florida State.
Man, this
Rematch
game's
from
going
a
to be
year
so
ago.
much. This was going to be so much fun because
Came
this is
down to
real.
a missed kick last year.
Well, not only that, but now you get to see LSU team who made the SEC championship, who put up like 30 or 40 against Georgia in the SEC
Yeah, they
championship.
lost 50-30. Yep.
Yeah, and then you get to see Jordan Travis in LSU or at Florida State, who everybody thinks this is their year to make the college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you talking about a CFP implication game right off the bat. I mean, this is a huge one.
Yeah. It might even be a bigger implication game than Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Now, if it's true, and if the bowl projections that I've been seeing are accurate, and this is how the season plays out, they do have these two teams meeting later in the year for a bowl game as well. So we'll wait and see how the season shakes out. And I don't think you've ever had a situation to where two teams start the season playing each other and end the season playing each other. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
I'm not sure.
And if it has, please drop a comment or something below.
Well, I guess you're thinking about non-conference opponents, right?
Yeah, it would be non-conference. So like I don't even dating back, say like Alabama USC played each other like a couple of years ago, back when Jalen Hurts started as quarterback and Blake Barnett was the starter in that game. Even after Alabama won, Alabama didn't play USC in the college football playoffs that year. Like it's one of those that I've never seen two teams that start the year playing each other non-conference, end the year playing each other non-conference.
I want to say it was 2015, right?
Yeah, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there.
Well, I will say about this game though, if Florida State ends up having one loss, finishing the regular season, I think this would be it.
If Florida State has one loss and gets into the playoffs, it would have to be this game. They cannot lose another game outside of this one and still get in.
Well, I think they take care of Clemson.
Unless their one loss is to Clemson, and that would be the only other exception.
Well, I don't know if we're going to have a two-loss team, though. We've never seen a two-loss team.
This year, I feel like would be the only year we have a two-loss team, because the way this year is set up, with all the like quarterback questions, with all of the teams, like now the NIL is taking place, people transferring, this year looks so much like 2007 that I believe that you're going to have at least one two-loss team, maybe even two loss teams going into the playoffs this year.
I don't see it. It's just we never had that.
I don't think you're going to. Let me put it this way: I don't think we're going to have an undefeated team like Georgia last year.
No, I don't think so. We'll probably have a one-loss champion. By the way, so this is according to Sports Reference. Arizona's last bowl game was in 2017 in the Foster Farms Bowl. They lost to Purdue. The last bowl game they won was in 2015 in the New Mexico Bowl.
So basically, needless to say, Arizona's never made it to a quality bowl game.
It's been a while. So, but all right, last one. Got to show some love to my Dukies. Let's go. Starting off the season at home against Clemson. I know we're not going to win, but I hope it's close.
I don't know. I'll be honest. With it being at Duke, this could be the one pinnacle moment in Duke's like football career. And
our history.
I'm not writing off Duke just yet, because their quarterback last year showed a lot of promise.
Yep.
And I mean, y'all were like bowl eligible last year. Y'all had like 9 wins, 8 wins.
After back-to-back 3-win season, Elko took us to a 9-win season. That's amazing.
And so that's what I'm saying is I feel like he took y'all to a 9-win season. And then, so what better way to cap off a 9-win season with knocking off Clemson straight out of the gate?
Yeah,
like, even if that's the only game you win all year, like if that's the game you only win all year, at least you knocked off Clemson. Like,
well, I'd honestly rather have another 9-win season than 1-10 season. But every way I look at it, though, I read an article earlier predicting our season, and every way I look at it, I feel like the best we can do is 9 wins again, because we have a tough schedule. We have Clemson, We have Notre Dame at home. We go to Tallahassee to play Florida State.
Ooh, that is a tough
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, we got a hard schedule this year.
Well, at least y'all beat NC State this year because they don't have Devin Leary.
Yeah, well, I'll be at that game, so we better win it. The two football games I've been to at Duke, we've gotten destroyed, so we'll see.
Those have also been home games, so
Yeah. Yeah, the two home games I've been to have gotten destroyed.
the one road game you went to, y'all won. That was the bowl game.
Yep. Yep, this last December. But
So just like Chris Buescher in NASCAR, every race you go to, he wins. So
yeah. Hey, we're gonna have to do a video here with NASCAR too, because we got Daytona coming up Saturday.
man.
You want to talk about that real quick? Because we have 6 minutes left.
So okay, yeah, we can talk about NASCAR real quick, even
Because
though this is kind of the college football segment.
yeah, we have one playoff spot remaining that's up for grabs.
And we have Daytona next.
And there's so many drivers outside the cut line right now
That
that
can
could
win
easily
Daytona.
win the race to get in.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to go out and say the driver that I think is going to win this weekend is one that nobody sees coming. You want to know who that driver is? Can you
Well,
take a guess of who I'm thinking about?
okay, well, there's one driver that I've had on my mind the last couple of days because he's been good. I know he was good in Xfinity with Paulie, and there's been plenty of times back with JTG Doherty in the 47 where he's finished
I
third a
like where
couple
I
times.
like where you're going with Allmendinger, but
Yes, dude, I'm telling you.
that's not who I'm going with.
That's who I feel good about under the below the cut line that can win to get in. That's who I would
The
pick.
one that I believe that can win to get in, he's done it once already.
Are you going Austin Dillon?
No, he's done it once already. I have his race win diecast from this, but I'm going to go the boy Eric Jones with Legacy Motorsports. If it's anybody that nobody sees coming to win this race, it's going to be Eric Jones.
Yeah, that would be out of the blue.
And like I said, he's done it before, and I'm sure he could do it again. Um, because I mean, it's just one of those drivers that I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of wrecks this race just because
Yeah.
everybody realizes that this is going to be the last spot and everybody's jostling for positions. So, okay, let's go ahead and do that real quick before we run out of time.
Yeah.
How many cars finished the race fully
Over under.
intact without a single piece of sheet metal missing?
Over under.
Over under.
That set the over under at 21.
Let's set the over under at 15.
15. I'm gonna say over 15.
Over 15 that doesn't have a single scratch on them.
Oh, you're saying that does okay. I'm saying finish the race. I'm saying under 15.
That's what I was going to say is under 15 that finishes the race without a single scratch on their car.
None of them might. I don't know.
Like this race, this especially with this car and everything and how they're able to beat each other up and like bang the like and scrape the walls and stuff like Saturday night is going to be so much fun, man.
It's gonna be nuts. Now, going back to the cut line picture here, I believe Bubba Wallace is 32 up on Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs had the top 5 at Watkins Glen. Suarez had
Bubba
a terrible
Wallace
day.
gets I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Bubba Wallace gets wrecked in the middle of stage 2.
Okay, but he's 32 up. Is that enough for Gibbs to be able to get in on points? I don't think so. I think everyone
Basically,
below
if
is going to have to
Gibbs
win. But is it possible, you think, for him to sneak in on points? He's going to
the
have to
way
be up front the whole time.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if Gibbs wants to get in on points alone, he's going to have to finish second or first in every single stage. And then Bubba Wallace is going to have to finish outside the top 10.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you're below, I think Ty Gibbs is the only one that mathematically could make it in on points, but I think if you're below the cut line, you got to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a win and you're in situation. Bubba Wallace, I hate to tell you, buddy, but They're coming for you. And they're not going to play nice when they get to you.
No, but I am gonna pick Allmendinger though. As now I
I like
know,
Allmendinger. I thought
yeah,
about Allmendinger, but I genuinely believe Eric Jones is who I'm going to go with as my sleeper pick.
okay,
Another one that's really good at restrictor plate races, and he's shown it time and time again. He's just come up short a little bit each time. Is Corey LaJoy.
yeah,
I mean, he's another one of those teams that I think can do it. Um,
he's
if I
ran
wanted
good
to
at
go,
Atlanta.
I know. I think I went with him to win it. Actually, I think I went with Ryan Priest to win the race this weekend.
Yeah, so the picks between me, you, and Wyatt, I actually have Corey. You have Priest, and then I think he's got Stenhouse because he picked Stenhouse for the wrong
Yeah, because he
Daytona race.
flipped him. He
Yep,
flipped him because Stenhouse
yep,
won the 500.
yep.
But could Stenhouse win both Daytona races this year? That's
He'll be the first driver to sweep the Daytona races since,
Jimmy.
yep, 2013. Jimmy Johnson. Yep.
Well, did Earnhardt do it before Jimmy or after Jimmy?
Earnhardt did not. He would have had to done it before if he swept because no one swept between there. Junior won the 2014 500 and then he won 2015 July.
Okay,
Tokyo
that's
Daytona.
where I got it messed up. Is
Yeah,
he missed a year?
those
Okay,
were a year apart. Yeah.
but all right, man. Well, I'm gonna get off of here.
Yeah.
So we'll talk again soon. But yeah, so all right.
All right.
See you,
Thanks,
dude.
man. See ya.